my God!
A kick out!
What the hell is this? Oh, God!
Oh my! Push canceler!
Unbelievable!
Has been an absolutely brutal display.
Oh, my God!
That was freaking insane!
Make yourself famous!
Talk about a high-risk maneuver!
What?
The new champion!
Welcome to the UCT Live podcast. I am Drake Stacy, joined as always by the wig man, Max Mercury. And today, welcome to what we believe is going to be one of the most interesting lessons of the podcast thus far, because in this we're talking about PASW Live 3 today. And normally, I'd like to say for the most part, you and I mostly share similar opinions when it comes to things. Like, we're usually somewhat on the same page, not for everything, but a good portion of things we do seem to see.
I'm just too level-headed when it comes to all things that are not Ron or Trouble Slander. So
That's very true. But today it seems we are not. It seems we are on.
I'm gonna start it off with a fuck you. That's what we're gonna get right into it.
Oh, the gauntlet has been
Let me
thrown.
get the blood
ladies.
boiling.
The we can only go up from here. So this show, especially more than ever, please go take a look at this show. Pause this video, go take a look at PASW Live 3 video, link in the description below as always. Because yeah, we seem to be on opposite sides of our opinions of this show.
Yes.
I'm not going to say too much right now because we are going to get into it.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. I was watching it and just a lot of the show for me fell very flat. I thought of the 3 shows so far, like, you started hot. Last week was a step down.
Yeah.
And then you took another step down.
I don't know about that.
See,
there we
already,
go.
like that's already the debate right there. Like, where does this show fall of the 3 so far? And I thought it was worse than last week.
I thought it was better than last week. But I think we can both agree the first week was the best for sure.
Yes, by far. It was I can't stress enough that the first show, like, he came back like firing, like right out the gates. It was like, boom, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we did think that last week was going to be lower because, like, how could you top it?
True.
But then for me, I was really thinking, like, this is like the quote unquote
go home.
I
didn't even know it was to go home. I thought we were going to have like one more week.
So did I. And it turns out, at the end of the show, you find out that no, it's next week. Are we doing predictions for that? Little aside, because there is a card.
Yeah, I think we should, but probably not going to record it today.
No,
we already have a lot on our plate.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Yeah,
later.
but we could definitely. Yeah,
I wasn't sure because we have till next Monday. We know when he's uploading. So okay, I guess we're doing predictions for that. So keep an eye out for that later on. But yeah, I thought because this was the go home show, it was gonna like hit you with like
bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, like
I thought he did. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just all right, let's just go.
Yeah,
let's go. So the first match was for the Attitude Championship. King versus Akira Kobayashi versus Ron. I'll start with you. What did you think of
I thought this was a good match. I think it was probably the least problematic match. Well, it was a fine match. I think King was the right winner. As much as I am an Akira mark, I did predict King would win this match because I thought Akira should kind of stay with the AAPW stuff because I think he'd be a top face there. I would say as fun as it was to see Justice come out and cost Ron the match because with their little fun banters in the chat. Adrian's not in the chat, so I know that's not the reason for why it happened. And then in the 6-man tag, there wasn't anything between Ron and Justice that would lead to this happening. So it was like 1 second I'm like, hell yeah. And then second I'm like, but why?
I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for Justice coming out and doing that because first of all, I didn't know it was elimination. I thought it was single fall. So I think I said in the review show last week,
Yeah.
was I thought that Ron was specifically in this match to take the pin to keep the other of Akira or King who didn't win strong.
That's true.
So I didn't realize it was elimination until Ron got pinned, and it was like, oh, he's out. It's like, what?
Like, oh, okay.
Out?
No
I thought
King
that
Akira
was
now.
over. So I think I don't think he needed to necessarily
Be
do
elimination.
this. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do it elimination, fine. I'm more talking about like you didn't need to have Justice come out and do this. But that's where it should have stopped, right? Like it should have just, if you were gonna do that moment of Justice coming out, starting this feud with Ron, fine. You didn't need to do the throw him on the car thing in the back.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a little much.
Yeah, I think it's a little much. Not the feud just started. I don't think it's reached that level of violence yet.
Not at all. Like like if you would just hit this, it's like, okay, here's the new feud that you're getting probably for post classic.
Yeah.
You could have that moment of the attack backstage, like maybe like at the classic or the first show after. Have you cut backstage and they're fighting, and then somebody gets put on the car or something. If you want to do that so bad, but immediately after,
yeah, like I understand wanting to put Ron through the front windshield of a car. Like I get it, everyone would want to do it, but I just feel like I feel like we need Justin. Feel like we need reasoning for why this feud is happening first. Like, Ron slander isn't enough justification. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Of course, you would want to throw Ron.
I would have been laughing my ass off had it been me instead of Justice. I would have been 100% okay with it.
Suddenly, that becomes like a great moment.
Oh yeah, well, sure. Everybody would love it. No one needs to know why. We know why.
I'm just waiting for like the next like VCW match after Ron Angel to be Ron versus Max Mercury.
No, he would need my permission. He doesn't have it.
Oh, got him.
I've already told him. He's like, I need to see a couple of VCW shows to have my interest first.
That's very fair. So yeah, and then King does win here, and I do like that decision as well. I think I just don't know who takes that title off him now.
I think he's gonna keep it for at least a season.
I could definitely see that happening until a potential like Caleb return.
Yeah,
maybe.
That would work.
Like way later,
War
Mania, maybe Caleb's a Rumble entry.
Yeah.
And like King is like controlling the ring and he comes out and Caleb eliminates him, setting up the match. Comes out with the real attitude title. Do that angle.
Undisputed Attitude Championship at War Mania 6.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen. We don't know. All right. Next we got Father Anthony. I was very confused. I was very, very confused with this promo.
In what aspect?
Because he's talking about like, they won't relinquish the hardcore title.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it was not us who like let the community guys in. It's like, you had no involvement with it anyway. Of course it wasn't you.
We didn't have any involvement. Wink. We totally didn't. Wink.
I felt like this was just all over.
Yeah.
And
especially since Anta's not booked for the 15 classes. This is kind of just to be like, yo, I'm still here. I
Yeah,
still exist.
that is kind of how it felt because it was at the compound
Yeah, his
of
compound.
the cult thing.
Mm.
What I really wanted to see actually because we got word of this before the show that he was going to appear.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see like the new Justin Gavin.
Yeah, that
You
would be
know?
cool. I think
Like, that
maybe
would've
they're
been-
saving it. I think that's to just have him show up and then Gavin doesn't do anything. I would be like, okay, that was cool, but not doing anything substantial. So maybe they're saving it till like Justin Gavin's in the program or something, instead of just be like, yo, he's here, look at him, and then bye. We're not focused on for a couple weeks.
Well, if that's the case, then like because the Father Anthony thing was like a big part, or like it felt like it was reoccurring on just about every
Yeah.
PASW show for like the latter half of last season. And then since Warmania, this is his just first time showing up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you need him to start doing something
Yeah.
after or on the classic to get you reinvested in the character,
Mhm.
So hopefully that does happen. But yeah, I walked away from this promo and I was like, I don't know what the point of this was, other than to your point of I'm still here.
Yeah. Nothing was lost or gained from this promo. It was
It was just
I'm
there.
here. I'm here.
Yeah. All right. Next we got the Jones Dynasty versus the Thunder
Yes.
Brothers in the third match of the first round
Mhm.
of the classic. This was
It's okay.
fine.
It was fine. I'm not gonna lie.
fine.
I looked away for a second. I saw this match was happening, and I don't know. Maybe it's because one of the Jones to me looks so much like Adri, and
Yes.
I was like, what is Adri doing here? Why is his partner not Jack? Who is this guy? I don't remember. I was like, that looks like somebody else. That's not Jack.
I was watching this show with Bear, and he was like, he looks like a skinnier Adrian Destiny. And then I started thinking about it, and the other guy looks like Jamie Lakey
Yeah, the build. He looks
with
pretty
the
big.
haircut.
Yeah,
Like,
the
like the
hair's
same
slightly
guy.
different, but yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing about
It's funny because those two used to look just like the Young Bucks, and now they look entirely different.
that. Really? Those are the
Yeah,
same.
they were. Yeah, because they were the Jones Dynasty. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
they
that
were-
was the Sop brothers that looked like the
No,
Bucks.
no, Stops. They look different.
Oh, yeah, that's a drastic change then.
They hit the gym.
Jesus. I guess one of them did. That's for sure.
One of them didn't, and he stayed the same.
I guess so. For me in this match, nothing about it
Was
in my
special.
mind was like the Jones Dynasty's winning this match. I was like,
Yeah.
no way they are winning. Nothing. I never
Mm-mm.
believed it for a second.
Nope.
Not one. And it was the right decision. It was the right decision to have the Thunder Brothers win. So overall, fine.
It's fine.
I didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
Same here.
Very in the middle.
And then my bad. You go first.
Were you going to talk about what was after?
I was gonna move on to the next segment, but
Yeah.
like, promo, but
Yeah, go ahead. That's where I was going.
what was it then? AJ and Max show up on the screen, and they're like, "Yo, we had nothing to do with it. We were just taking advantage of the situation." And I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
I was very confused by it as well. I didn't like this promo either.
I
really
thought it
didn't.
was just fine. I was like, "Okay, you guys didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, whatever."
The one thing I'll say is you in the Ingobernable stable, you have 3 different guys with the first name beginning with M.
Yeah, kick out AJ, add me in it.
Hey,
But then you have 2 guys named Max.
but my point is like the text, if you were unfamiliar with this group,
Yes.
Max was talking with his
the mask on.
mask on. and it was
Yeah.
just M. And at first, I was like, "Is that Mario talking?"
That's a fair point.
Because it was like, "Which one of you are you?" Like,
yeah. Who are you? I'm charging my
yes,
charger. I'm putting in my charger for the viewers who don't know what I'm doing.
but that pretty much is that was the first thing that jumped out at me. I was like, you can't just put M when multiple members of the group have the first name starting with M and they all wear masks. It's like, I wouldn't have known this was mask. I wouldn't know this was Max unless AJ wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I knew who it was.
Mhm.
And they were like, they were talking about how they didn't let him in, but they were taking advantage of the situation. I was like, what? Like, I don't know. Just to me, it didn't
Mhm. I
work.
guess for me, I just didn't mind it because it was just like, oh yeah, no, we had nothing to do with it. We were just taking advantage of the fact. If Cass got his ass kicked backstage, who are we to say we're responsible for Cass's well-being? Where if he comes out injured, we're just gonna beat him anyway. Easy win. But like the promo itself was like nothing special, but like I get the message.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, like, yeah, I see what they're going for. Just now to me, you've brought in, first of all, like, you've had Father Anthony now mention that you
Yeah.
had nothing to do with it, and now
Yeah.
Ingobernables is like, we had nothing to do with it. Like,
Someone's gonna have to do with it for sure at this
yeah,
point.
there's gonna be a reveal.
It was
You know what? If that happens, you know what I'm gonna do? In the review episode, I'm going to clip that out of this episode, and I'm going to put it in the front of that, and I'm just start the episode like this.
It was me, everyone. I did it. I brought them in. Even though it makes no sense. And then intro cuts in.
I don't know why I did, but I did it. Watch it be like Cass or something. Like just the big swerve of like the first attack guy is like, that'd be so weird. I think
It'd be like how Bully Ray got his ass kicked by the Aces and Eights, even though he was the leader.
Or how Ninja got his ass kicked by the crew, even though he was revealed to be the leader.
Oh, also, it's like how the corporate ministry went after Vince, but he was the higher power.
Wrestling.
Yep.
That's there you go. So whoever this is gonna have to be a bigger reveal.
Big deal.
Because you can't just keep having people say, "No, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me," and then it turns out to be like if it was somebody like really lackluster, it'd be like, really? It was like when we found out the name is Retribution. I know. Just you mention it again, and it's still just.
It's like it was me, Austin Saab, the forgotten PASW original. I came in to inject some poison.
Austin Saab. Unbelievable. That would be so funny. Oh god. Okay. Next we got Dragon coming out, calls out Manny. Before we jump into it, I actually have a interesting on the spot question to kind of pose to you.
Okay.
Manny said one of the biggest bulks of this promo was Dragon saying Manny is the best cruiserweight in the world.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best cruiserweight in the? Yeah,
that's a loaded question.
Isn't it
to
though?
Consider. I mean, Manny's a good pick. I mean, he was cruiserweight champion in PWF, and I thought that reign was really good. So,
but is he the best?
I mean, that's a very subjective question, and I can't. Manny's not a bad choice, but I can't think of one that on the spot is like, hell yeah, this is the best one for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I genuinely would have to sit down and like
think about it.
Think about it.
Watch this be a podcast episode. Who's the best cruiserweight in the UCT?
It could be. That'd be like a debate topic.
Prepare names and it's like, oh, this is why I think this. And then just go pros and cons. Bam, bam, bam.
or like we each come up with like a top 5.
Oh yeah, do that.
That'd be fun.
You know me, I keep making some lists.
Yeah.
Not out of
Yeah.
my element.
But yeah, I was like, is he the best cruiserweight?
I think it's also
In-
just because of the fact that they're both Mexican. Manny's lucha libre, so it's kind of like an inspiration kind of thing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine, it works.
I get it, but it was just like, it was one of those like, I had to stop and think about it for a second.
Mhm.
I can't definitively say yes, but I can't definitively say no either.
Yeah.
So he's definitely up there. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
he's definitely up there.
Back to the thing at hand. Sean comes out and challenges Dragon for his title shot. I really disliked this booking decision.
I mean, we know. I think all the viewers know you hate when people talk their way into a title shot.
I do hate that. But the bigger picture here is you just did
The battle
Manny
royal.
versus Sean
Oh yeah.
on the first show. It was the first match that you
Yes.
did. Why are we going back to it immediately?
Mhm.
And we're not even getting the match that we set up for with the Battle Royal. Like all of this booking led me to believe before this segment happened that it was going to be the 3 of them
Yes.
competing for the
that would
title.
have been the best option.
Yes. And you've just taken that away.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what we already saw.
Mhm.
I don't like.
Yeah. I think for me, like as much as I did like the match, I thought the match was good. I do feel like the booking was like backtracking a little bit. Like if Sean was gonna end up challenging Manny, why didn't he just win the battle royal?
Right?
You know, I felt like,
Like, why'd you bring Dragon in this?
I think it would have worked had it been like, yo, if I win, I get added to the match.
Yes, that would have
so
much better.
Then you keep everything the same.
Yes.
And then we have a unique match. The classic.
Yeah, because if that's what had happened and Sean still cheated to win
Hmm.
and then got inserted into the match, like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like that makes it just better.
Yeah, 100%. My big concern now is that Dragon's gonna get involved in the match and it's gonna like, I feel like Sean will lose again because of like a Dragon interference, or maybe even worse, will be like a DQ or like a count out thing, and then it ultimately leads to triple threat, which could have been much easier had the match just been about Sean getting added instead of replacing.
And it wouldn't make sense if he did it that way because Dragon's the face.
Yeah.
Whereas
Manny, I'm gonna help out my idol. I don't want him to lose the title.
But even Manny said like first words out of Manny's mouth were, "That didn't mean shit to me."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. And now we're back to
words,
just like a heel dynamic.
Yeah. Like, why is Dragon acting like a heel against other heels? Like, I get you want to like get back at him, but it would have been stronger this way.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
So
you're slowly winning me over to your side of thinking. You're like, yeah, maybe the show wasn't that good after all.
See that? I don't know. I don't like coming into these shows with like a bunch of negative things. Oh, of course. I don't like coming into these things like with a bunch of negatives.
Yeah.
But I want to call it exactly how I see it.
That's fair.
In an unbiased way. Because I'm sure this is the case for everybody in the UCT. There are certain shows per person that you like better than other ones.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, even if I like a show more than others, I'm still gonna call them and review them
fairly. How you saw it, your first reactions to it.
Yeah.
Damn. Call it like it
without like having like a personal bias towards it.
No. No, that's
Like
where
that's
I come
yeah, it is. The person I call a fair game. Max is like, fuck that.
in.
Like,
No, trouble loses F tier show.
I mean,
Easily.
hey, when people see the OCW Battlefield review show, which probably came out beforehand, is like, yeah, this booking was
Yeah,
terrible.
we'll see if AJ's still out of the chat by then. I feel like keeping him out now till he sees this video.
No.
He doesn't deserve it. So
Oh no, he doesn't.
no, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? I'll add him back when we're done recording, right? Then I'll kick him out again when the video
Oh
comes
my
out, and then add him
God.
back when this one comes out.
Brutal.
Yay.
Abuse of power.
Oh, 100%. Easily. This is hilarious.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, so that match is now happening at the classic, but it would have been stronger as a three-way for sure.
Definitely.
Or if you were gonna do drag, because we both thought there was another show in between,
Yeah.
right? Like I thought the Dragon Manny was gonna happen on the Go Home show, which was
Yeah.
this one. And
Then
then the
Sean.
three-way would happen on the classic.
That would have been fine.
Yeah. So now
Makes sense.
if it was gonna be Dragon Man, do the exact same way that we've been describing it, where
Mhm.
Sean gets involved and then it becomes a three-way, like right after that. If you wanted to do that for the first show post classic, that still would have been fine.
Yeah.
Still would have been good. Okay. Next we got Road Rocker and Alpha backstage, and basically just the takeaway from it is they are not on the same page.
Yes.
That's what I took from it.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they
they're-
did have a feud last season, like right at the
Yeah.
end. So it's like it makes sense that they're not on the same terms. And it's like Road Rocker's just like, cut the crap, bro. I don't really trust you.
Yep.
I'll do my best to win because that's what I want to do. But I'm just saying.
So, and that immediately takes us into our next match.
Yeah.
And stupidly, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the main event." And in the title of
You
the
forgot
video,
the
it says
1 hour match that's
I know.
about to happen.
I was like, "What am I doing? What the fuck?" One thing, just right before the match even started,
Mhm.
I thought that because they weren't on the same page, they should have came out separately.
Mhm.
They came out together
I didn't know.
as A&R Connection. I would have much rather them come out separate.
That would make sense.
Like you're still a team.
It's a small touch. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
just a
I
very
like-
little thing. I don't care that they came out together, but I was like, that would have been a good little
Yeah.
wrinkle.
I
into
wouldn't have
that.
even minded if Road Rocker came out first, as if like he just stormed out and it's like, okay, I'm ready to compete. Let's go. And then Alpha's like, following, like, wait up.
Hey,
I'm coming, bro.
I'm here too.
Yeah.
Don't forget about me. Watching this match, Alpha's fucking small.
Yes,
Like-
for little old me.
Dude, he's so tiny. I
Yeah.
was like to Bear, I was like, Treble's probably as tall as him, and she's 5 feet tall.
She's 5 feet tall.
She's 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
She's as small as the game can make me make her.
Yeah, because I think Max is like pretty, like at least over 6 feet, because that's how I have him as. I have him the same height as my brother, and he's like 6'2". So it's like it's a climb.
Yeah, she's her and Violet. They're both 5 feet tall.
That's right.
All right. Overall, I liked the match.
Yeah, I
I'd-
think it's a really good match.
Yeah. I don't know if I cared for the ending as much as other people might have liked it.
The post match or like the ending of the match?
The ending.
Oh, okay.
Because it,
I think Adrian deserved it.
I mean,
Or pissing off Jack and just be like, yo, like just tag me the fuck in. And then Jack's doing good, and then Adrian tags himself in, and it's like Jack's like, fuck this, I'm done. No, I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't even
um,
want tag team gold.
yeah, because clearly his bigger picture was the
world
Euro title.
Well, yeah.
I just thought this match was going to be built more along the dysfunction of A&R but it was more built on the dysfunction of Jack and
Yeah.
Adri.
Yeah, I'm fine with it because even in the backstage segment before this, Road Rocker was like, "I'm gonna be professional because I'm actually gonna try to win." And then you have the other team who's have much bigger issues because they're bigger egos and they didn't even want to be in the team in the first place. So I'm like, their issues are probably gonna be more important than the other one.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah.
I was okay with it.
Um. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Now we're getting Jack, Adri,
Yes.
which should be fine.
Yeah, it should be a good match. I don't
Yeah.
think Adri's losing.
No,
He
I don't think so either.
could, which could move him up for like Jaden Shadow, since there's really nobody.
The only I agree that I think
Yeah.
Jack is probably not winning, but the only scenario that I see Jack coming out with the win is with retribution interference. Because
It was
Adri,
Jack all along, everybody.
yeah. Yeah, no, he comes out for the match, and toward the end, they jump the barrier and cause the distraction, and Jack's the European champion, so that Adri can be freed up to go more into this feud, right? Like that's the only way I see Jack winning the belt.
Yeah, I can see that too.
If Adri retains, they'll probably jump him after the match.
You know what will happen? Adri will lose because of interference by retribution, right? And then on the next PASW Live, Jack's gonna be like, "I had nothing to do with it. I just took advantage of the situation."
Oh my
And I won the
god!
title.
Damn it! It's just everybody taking advantage of the situation that's been presented to them. Okay, so now we got the main event.
Crux of the argument here.
Yeah. Did you like this match?
Here's the thing. I didn't think it was the worst Iron Man match. I don't think it's the best Iron Man match, but I think I looked back after the premiere, right? I went through like the highlights of it just because there were some points I looked away and then stuff happened. But I thought it was fine. Like it was a good match with problems, but it was a good match still.
I was just not interested in
Oh yeah, that's
watching.
true. You were already from the get-go, you were not interested in seeing these two at all, or the resulting match after with the winner versus DJ.
What I will say is it's the winner I wanted.
Yes.
It is the match that I did want of the two options that were presented to me. I did want DJ versus Brendan.
Yes.
This did not need to be an hour.
30 minutes would have been just fine.
30 minutes would have been fine.
Yeah.
There was one moment in the very beginning of the match. I looked away because I take notes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I looked away for a minute, not even a minute, maybe 15 seconds, and 3 falls elapsed over that time.
I looked back to see what happened. So what was it? Brendan, at first, he keeps sliding out of the ring because he's frustrated, and he's mad at Steel. And I did appreciate that there was kind of an official face heel dynamic here, with Brendan being the heel, Steel being more of a baby face. So it made things clear for me. But Brendan cheats, uses the weapon, gets himself DQ'd, and then beats up Steel just a little bit. Takes advantage. Now it's 1-1. And then the fall I didn't see was Brendan then getting that last chancery, the thing that Austin Aries does, and gets the pin, the submission.
Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what happened. I went to look back because I also looked away and I was like, oh, it's 2-1. I only saw the first one.
Yeah, because Brendan hit the execution.
Yes.
1-0.
Yes.
And then
he makes Steel tap out from a last chancery.
Yeah.
And then now it's 2-1.
No, I must have missed the DQ. I didn't think there was DQs in an Iron Man match.
Yeah, there is.
But okay, that's just my ignorance then. But yeah, I literally looked down and I was like, what?
Yeah.
When did these happen? I got so confused.
Mm-hmm.
This match felt lopsided.
Yeah, in terms of points too, because
Brendan was
eventually,
up 5-2.
yeah, I was like, okay, Steele's not winning, and if he does, I'm gonna hate it.
At the end, no, go ahead.
Because it was 5-2 by the time there was only 16 minutes left. So I was like, he's either gonna blitz 4 points for Steele, or he's not gonna win and he's just gonna fall short. So I was like,
Well, he comes in right at the end. He's in that arm bar, right? Or the cross arm breaker or whatever the hell submission he's in. And the timer is just ticking down. I thought for a second, and I actually would have really liked this if Brendan had tapped with seconds to spare and it's a tie.
Oh,
then it's a 3-way. DJ Brendan Steele.
Yep.
For the title.
I think Steele would have probably preferred that too, to knowing what happens after.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what he gets for coming in late to the premieres.
Really true. Really true. He did come in like right at the end.
And he's like, what's happening? I'm confused. And then Adrian's like, maybe you should have just watched the show.
Maybe if you had been here.
Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought that would have been better because that to me would have been like you keep both men looking good.
Yeah.
With a decent match. Sure. And then they both get the chance, and then probably the dysfunction of the two would probably lead to DJ winning at some point. Because I still think DJ's winning the belt.
Yeah,
retaining.
I think he's retaining the belt too.
I don't see Brendan winning here. Yeah, just overall, like I don't know, just wasn't the main event for me was not.
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like Brendan being a more traditional heel because, like, before this match, I wasn't really sure, like, the heel face dynamic was when it came.
I didn't either.
Yeah, because they were a heel tag team, and then I don't remember who turned on each other. So then they feuded, but it's like that didn't necessarily made one of them a face. So I was just like,
I want to say Brendan turned.
It's up his wheelhouse to be the one who makes the betrayal. So
because in PASW, Brendan turned, and then in their brief run in OCW, Steele turned.
Yeah, maybe that's what's confusing me.
So I don't know.
If Brendan was the one who turned in, yeah, that makes sense. So it'd be like face heel, but like it didn't necessarily make Steele a face. He didn't.
No, definitely not.
But like in this match, I did see like he was at least acting like a face because he didn't cheat. They were just fighting resiliently. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right, and then
Steele gets fired.
The Kota Amura said there was a stipulation for this match before the match started, and then I was like, in my head before the announcement of Steele getting fired, I was like, are they gonna fucking restart the match and have Brendan face one of the Retribution guys? I was like, that would have sucked. Like that would have been such a lazy way.
For me, I immediately thought I was like, oh, okay, the loser's gonna get fired.
Oh, I didn't think that at all, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't particularly care that Steele got fired either.
Honestly, I'm a little conflicted because here's my thing, right? I feel like there isn't that meant like here's the thing. Freddie Bones got injured. Mario has not been seen since like the first show. Doggy hasn't been seen since the first show. Johnny's probably MIA at this point because he's
for now anyway.
Yeah, for now. Jaden's not even here. He's off at a hotel room. So it's like, and then Steele got fired. So it's like, we're losing a bunch of names here.
Yeah.
The main event scene or like the least upper names is like getting depleted. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah,
and then
I don't know.
And let's say DJ beats Brendan. What does Brendan do after this? It's like, I don't know. And then there's like the Latin American title, which hasn't been defended. It's like too many belts, not enough people. It's getting.
Isn't Doggy the Latin American champion?
No, Mario is. He beat Doggy.
Oh, it was the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah,
like,
a lot of belts.
and then you just fired Steele, which like I'm not gonna like that's your decision. Can't comment on that, but just like in terms of what it does for PASW going forward, it's like we're losing some names here.
Yeah, I don't really know the full extent of his roster.
Yeah, and then you have Anthony, Father Anthony, who's busy at his compound with the kidnapped Josh Miller, and then the new Justin Gavin who hasn't showed up. So it's like, and then the other names that are available, like you have the other cruiserweights who were just tossed out pretty quick.
Demolished, actually.
Yeah, demolished.
Demolished.
Really, I feel like Sean's probably gonna lose to Manny again. So it's like, and it's just not looking good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting worried.
the future after next week.
Mhm.
Next week's show is going to be very interesting to
Yes.
watch because a lot of unknowns
Yeah.
are going to happen.
And also, I think it's also just because like with as many big community names are in the Retribution, they haven't done jack shit like competing in a match. Like they've attacked Cass, and you have Coda as like a GM basically, but what are they doing? You know,
Don't know.
it's
Yeah,
just it's looking not. I don't want to say bleak, but it's just not a good situation right now.
it's there's a lot of gray area
Yeah.
going forward.
Mhm.
So I don't know what exactly is going to happen.
Yeah.
We will find out next week.
Yep.
So yeah, not as heavily debated as I thought this show was going to be.
I will say you did kind of win me over as we were talking this. I was like, yeah, there's problems there, and I didn't look at it. I still think it's. I don't even know anymore because yeah, take the victory in stride. It's just the booking. Like I like them in terms of matches. I like the show better, but the booking decisions leave me a little like how you guys were all feeling.
It's very
like,
weird.
Yeah,
It's very
you know?
weird. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's all we can say. It's like we'll see how this all
See what
plays out
else.
at the Classic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was PASW Live 3. Next week, as we've just said, the Tag Team Classic special / finals is taking place. So be sure to watch that next week.
Yep.
3 p.m. Eastern. I think that's typically what he's been doing so far. We will also be doing, as we talked about at the very beginning of this show, we will now be doing predictions for that. So there will be a predictions video later this week. Be on the lookout for that. If you like what you see here, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, UCT Extra. Subscribe to PASW. Subscribe to all other UCT federations. And we will see you for the next review.
Bye.